really helped me out today. I could just stick right on the bottom and, make it around the shortest part of the track.
Who would you like to thank today?
I got to thank Bubbler and Mid-Wisconsin Beverage to begin with, and Michael Meister Logging, Ponce North America, Advanced Coatings, VP Fuel and JP Remington, Hobbytown out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Star Powder Coating and Cerakote, 192 Score, Whitetails, and everybody else. I really appreciate the program that I've put together for my season here, and I'm just looking forward to Anago and then on. So I'm really excited about this.
Michael Meister picking up the win here in Pro Buggy in round 2.
Man, so great to have Michael Meister back racing with us. As if that class needed one more fast, competitive guy, right, Brent? It's loaded top to bottom. You see the racing product that it provides. Second to none. It's absolutely fantastic. And watch a little podium celebration down there, popping some bottles. But looking ahead at what's next and what's beyond, man. Pro Spec, moments away here from Wheatland. That's another class that's extremely competitive, a lot of experienced drivers. It's going to be another fun one.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and it's good to see Michael Meister back on top of the box, and I'm glad to hear him say he's going to Anago, going to go to the rest of the season, because, hey, he said it perfectly. 10 different winners can win at any given time, if not more, and that's what we love to call during our race weekends. But now, Pro Spec coming up here shortly, but we're talking about the big boys coming up later on.
Oh, yeah, I mean, again, we talked about it when we kicked off the Pro Show today. Pro 2 and Pro 4, they were a little bit cramped out there on the racetrack. This is a big layout, but that infield section especially, it was really tricky, really challenging for the drivers yesterday. Not a lot of room for those big 4,000-pound trucks. There was some contact, some upset drivers. I'm looking forward to seeing Pro 2s and Pro 4s out here on an even racier track. And to get an idea of what they're going to go through out there, especially in Pro 2, let's take a ride along with Rowdy Ryan Beat in his Pro 2. This is what it looks like looking back at Ryan. See just what he's up against.
Such a cool shot right through the front screen. You see how hard these guys work just trying to chase that cushion, especially in the Pro 2. And there's not a lot of turnability with these trucks. You see that tape on top of the center of the wheel. They're going to about 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock at full tilt. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. But Ryan Beat in round 1 made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, you see him shifting gears on that racing automatic transmission, 3-speed transmission. A lot of second gear in the infield. You get to open it up on the exterior of the track. That's when you're grabbing third and really letting that truck sing.
Yeah, he's got all his ducks in a row here this weekend. That Pro 2 division is going to be one to watch. You're not going to want to miss the Flow Racing Series coming up. I'm telling you, he just knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you can see, again, this is a stabilized action camera. It's quite a bit more violent inside the truck. You can see his head bobbing back and forth as he lands off some of these jumps, even with that 18 inches of travel up front, 20 in the back. These drivers are going to be up against it, trying to tame the beast here at Wheatland.
Welcome back once again to the beautiful raceway here, the Lucas Oil Speedway, and there's your top qualifier. He was bad fast coming into this weekend. The thriller Wyatt Miller, great to have him behind the wheel, and man, he's gotten a lot better from last year, and he was good last year.
Yeah, no surprise, he put down the fastest lap yesterday in round 1. Dominant in that win, his first ever off-road racing win. He's won all kinds of dirt track disciplines, even some on the asphalt, but to have him here racing with us is an absolute treat. And the skills, how much, like you said, they've improved from last year to this year. He's going to be really tough to beat this year, but a lot of talented drivers, wide variety of backgrounds. I love the guys and gals that we have in this field. There is your lineup. Avery Hemmer from Nowden, Minnesota on the pole alongside Ronald Cosiza from Hubertus, Wisconsin. Row number 2 is Chris Vandenelzen from Seymour, Wisconsin. And the kid from Statesville, North Carolina, Thriller Wyatt Miller, will start 4th. Nick Visser from Summit Lake, Wisconsin, alongside Diesel Shanik from Wapaka, Wisconsin in row number 3. Gavin Plummer from Plover, Wisconsin, alongside Nick Axelson from Star Prairie, Wisconsin, make up row number 4. And Dylan Parsons from North Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, starting alongside Zach Shimmick. He is from Abrams, Wisconsin. Drivers with a lot of different backgrounds. Shimmick used to race Pro Light. Axelson coming out of stock truck. Parsons, former buggy guy. Chris Vandenelzen, also a former buggy guy. Diesel Shanik came out of stock truck. Visser out of super stock truck. Wyatt Miller, we know about his dirt track racing background. Drivers from all over the place. A couple former mod kart kids as well. Gavin Plummer and Avery Hemmer. They were the top 2 in mod kart last year, making the jump together up here into Pro Spec.
Yeah, it's so cool to see the transitions. They just keep wanting to jump up into the new divisions, and it makes it so healthy for our sport. As you see Nick Visser, he's been in a little bit of a slump here lately. I'm expecting some big things out of him in the 80.
Avery Hemmer did not have a great race yesterday. We'll see how it shakes out today. She's on the pole, and she is off like a rocket. She actually ended up upside down yesterday, looking to bounce back and find a little redemption here in round 2.
Yeah, she was struggling a little bit. She went upside down 2 different times in round 1, but I'm sure she's going to diagnose what she did wrong and put it back on the table.
And don't let her age fool you and her relative inexperience fool you. She is as fast as anybody out there. There is some trouble there for Ronald Cosiza. And there you see the trouble. A missing left front wheel sheared that thing right off. Man, he had such a good run yesterday. Looked like maybe he was coming into his own a little bit. As we fly up and over the Brunt Workwear booter for the first time, you see Wyatt Miller starting to close in on Nick Visser.
Yeah, he loves to see this battle going on because he's just so precise at every spot he goes. What do you see, Shane?
Vandenelzen got a little bit crossed up and almost clipped that concrete wall. He had to gather it back up. That's going to let Visser sneak on by in a second. So Visser, one of the veterans of the class relative to everybody else. And Visser, look at that, left the door open for Vandenelzen.
Yeah, you can't do that. You got to protect that inside, as Vandenelzen will do down on the bottom here.
Oh, another little bit of contact between those two. Those two aren't afraid to mix it up with one another and throw some elbows sometimes. Just feels like it's a little bit early on lap 1 to be racing that way.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Hopefully, they're trying to just get through these first couple laps. Just shake out, get that top of that muddy surface off the track and get down to the deep surface so they can get some grip.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Brent, yesterday I think the issues for Avery Hemmer mostly came from racing in traffic. And obviously it was a rough track, a little bit harder to stay in control. That's kind of what got her into trouble yesterday. Right now, she's got a little bit of a cushion. She's by herself out front. Like I said, she is as talented as anybody in this field. This might be really bad news for everybody else that she's able to run by herself.
Yeah, she was definitely in a rough track situation, as was everyone else, but she just had some difficult times. But she's looking really quick this afternoon, cresting that little roller jump into that front booter. Wow, setting it down nicely on the backside. She's very, very talented.
Chris Vandenelzen still holding on for dear life to that second position. There is Chris in the number 66 Nexen Tires machine. Oh, look at Miller giving a shove to Visser.
Yeah, Miller trying to run him out of the race line. Did a great job. Put the truck where it needed to be, Shane.
Hey, Visser, like I said, he's not afraid to throw a couple punches throughout the course of a race, but he just took a shot there from the thriller Wyatt Miller.
Well, now we go back to that infield. Here comes the thriller Wyatt Miller one more time. He's trying to hunt down Chris Vandenelzen.
Bumper to bumper as they head through the tunnel and into the Polaris final turn.
A little bit of a push by Vandenelzen on entry. He's got to get up to that cushion a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and Miller, we talked about the dirt track background. The way that the cushions develop on this racetrack, that plays right into his skill set. He knows exactly how to find the cushion early and carry it all the way around the corner.
Yeah, just as you said that, he did that in turn number 1. And watch, he's a dirt track racer. He knows where to go.
Maybe not so much used to turning right, but the skills are there, right?
Right, absolutely.
There you see Miller trying the high side. Vandenelzen getting a little crossed up, and whoa, Vandenelzen had to get hard on the brakes to make the save. Thriller Wyatt Miller now into second, and Visser comes storming by to retake third place now. Oh, and Visser coming down hard on the rear wheels, sets it down.
Man, you got to have your suspension set up for that launch because it just absorbed that truck so nicely off that flyaway.
We didn't see it so much in Pro Buggy, but the fiberglass bodies on these Pro Spec trucks, they're going to catch a lot of wind, and there is a little bit of a headwind on the front booter.
Yeah, it'll pull right underneath that hood. Some guys at some of the other tracks like Crandon and Bark River, they'll actually drill holes in the fiberglass to let that air through. As Visser, he's bonsaiing out for everything.
Oh, Van den Elzen has an opening. Going to try to beat him to the next corner. Not going to happen. He crosses him up. Fender to fender, but Van den Elzen, I think, is going to have to fall back in line. No, Van den Elzen with a really good run. He's stuck down to the inside.
Wow, he put the truck right there. Did a little bit of a slide job.
Textbook clean pass there by Van den Elzen. He set that up 2 corners in advance, too. And
Perfect
right
timing.
on time, right before halfway. But how about Avery Hemmer? Made her debut in the class Labor Day weekend last year in our final rounds. Finished on the podium. Benefits from the front row start, pole position. She got out front, ran away, ran her race. And she looks wicked fast.
Yeah, she looks comfortable. That's what it is. She really knows how to wheel around this racetrack. Avery Hemmer that last time by a 126.723. So just about 3/4 a second faster than Wyatt Miller.
Yeah, nobody ran a faster lap in the first half of that race than Avery Hemmer just did right before halfway. So how about it? You got the 2 teenagers showing the way around to everybody else in this field. Actually, 3 teenagers running in the top 5. You got Gavin Plummer in that 5th spot making his Pro Spec debut.
Yeah, it's cool to see him get some of the bugs worked out of that 98.
Yeah, then you got the old dogs, Van den Elzen and Visser, stuck in the middle there in 3rd and 4th.
Boy, we'll see what Avery Hemmer has under the hood here now that Wyatt Miller is right behind her on this restart.
Well, those veterans I talked about, well, I'll come back to this later. Right now, we'll check in trackside with Nolan Castellan. What do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. You guys are talking about how impressed you are with our current race leader, Avery Hemmer. I am as well. The big thing I'm taking away from this is that she learned from those mistakes yesterday, obviously. It was a rough day. She made more than one, but learned from it and running up front again. Also, looking back through the field, I see 3rd and 4th, Chris Van den Elzen and Nick Visser. I don't anticipate those 2 veterans are going to want to sit behind the 2 kids for very long. Watch for them to make some aggressive moves to get to the front.
Nolan, that's the exact point I was just about to make before you piped up. Those guys are veterans. I'm wondering, how is Van den Elzen going to attack Miller here? Is he going to try to rattle his cage a little bit? Remember, those 2 have a history going back to Bark River last year racing for a win. Visser, same story. He'll rattle any driver's cage. He doesn't back down from a fight. Those guys know when to be aggressive and know when to move another driver off the race line. We'll see if the young kids have what it takes to stand up to that challenge.
Well, they're showing the way around right now. They're going to have to be up on the wheel, Van den Elzen and Visser. They're going to have to get it done here early because time is going to definitely run out as fast as you can tell. As Gavin Plummer, so cool to see him in the top 5. We'll see what he can do in this second half.
Yeah, Plummer's already taken some lumps this weekend, damaged the truck on practice and qualifying day, and broke early yesterday. Great to see him back out.
Well, here we go. Avery Hemmer going to lead him to this restart. The thriller Wyatt Miller had to check up just a little bit.
Yeah, Miller gave Hemmer just a little bit of a shove there. Look at Chris Van den Elzen trying to dive down to the inside right away on Wyatt Miller. Chris found some grip down there, too. That might be a line he comes back to a little bit later on. Oh, and Plummer comes in and gives a shove there to Van den Elzen. All kinds of chaos going on. See some ripped fiberglass there on Nick Visser's truck. But back up front, the 2 kids battling it out for this lead.
Yeah, we'll see how this shakes out. Going through that flyaway jump one more time. Both of them clearing it nicely. As Visser now having some fiberglass issues.
I see the 99 of Dylan Parsons up into the top 4 as well. What a weekend he is having. Huge crash in practice on Friday morning. Had to thrash to get the truck back together. He's a little beat up, but feeling all right. Now he's on the outside of the podium looking into that number 4 spot. We might have a change in our lead. Miller, a little shot there to Hemmer, and he's going to sneak on past. So thriller Wyatt Miller, the round 1 winner, here in the lead in round 2.
Yeah, he took that line right away, Shane. That was so cool to see. Didn't make any contact, just put the truck where it wanted to go. And now he's got that fresh, clean air. He's going to try to run away and hide from this group.
Well, Miller was the fastest truck on the racetrack yesterday, cruised to a victory in round 1.
Just screaming in front of the crowd here at Lucas Oil Speedway. A big push by Wyatt Miller. We'll see if Avery Hemmer can button back up to the rear bumper.
She did a little bit. She had a really good run out of turn 1. She found one of those holes that will develop throughout this race day. So both drivers kind of trading mistakes there over those last 2 corners. Look at Miller running the high side through Talladega Turn.
Yeah, you can tell he's a dirt track driver. He's trying everything, and wow, Hemmer up on the bumper.
Yeah, she found another one of those holes that we were just talking about. This track does come apart. It's going to get rougher as this race goes on. Hemmer's in a good spot, though. Remember, it's only her 2nd weekend racing in Pro Spec. She's out there still out front of Nick Visser, who's been in the class for a couple of years now.
Yeah, she's showing she belongs here in a short period of time. She's just putting in the work, and after round 1, those couple of hiccups, she's definitely learned what she did wrong, and she's looking really strong here. Wyatt Miller still holding on to that lead, just chasing that cushion around.
We'll have to keep an eye on that fiberglass hood on Nick Visser's truck. It's starting to peel back a little bit. We have in the past seen some incidents where the hood will flop over backwards and block your field of view. It's got to be a distraction too. It's starting to come up right in front of Nick.
Yeah, it is. It's just waving at us on camera here. Hopefully it don't get caught up in his vision. He's still trying to hammer down here late in this one.
Oh, it's definitely blocking his vision, at least to some extent.
Boy, he's went through a couple hoods this weekend already.
Yeah, this is the point where you really have to rely on your spotter. He's actually probably going to hope that that thing just tears away. We saw it happen in round 1 to Cole Mamer. He's having the same issue, and finally it let go.
Yeah, you're just praying and wishing hope, because it's hard to see. Every time you go to your entry on your corner, that's just flopping around. He's doing a wonderful job with those Yokohama tires.
Yeah, you're trying to remember what's beside the track that you can use for reference points, maybe counting those feather flags and deciding when to turn into some of these corners.
He's still bonsaiing off that tabletop. He's gonna have to find another gear here late in this race if he wants to chase down Hemmer.
Man, these trucks are tough enough to drive when you can see clearly out in front of you. He's got his hands full right now, but closing in a little bit on Avery Hemmer. Oh, and Visser a little crossed up, had to gather it back up, so right on cue, the announcer's curse strikes again.
Yeah, Visser just trying to keep it down, trying to reel in Hemmer, flying off that jump as well. There is the thriller Wyatt Miller checking out on this field with about 2 minutes to go this time by.
Just a glimpse of Miller there as we watch Hemmer and Visser come through the Polaris final turn. There is Wyatt Miller out of Statesville, North Carolina. Trying to make it a clean sweep, picked up career off-road win number 1 in round 1. He's hoping to break out the brooms on the podium.
Yeah, he looks to be in the right position right now, late in this one.
This is more what we expected from Avery Hemmer, though. After what we saw in her debut last season, for her to be firmly in 2nd. Visser's just trying to keep up to her right now. He's got his own adversity going on during this race, but we expect more of this out of Hemmer, too. The youth revolution is taking over here in Pro Spec.
Yeah, I remember at Fall Crandon last year, you were all excited to talk to me after I had to go get in the Pro Light, but I didn't get to call that race. And you're like, man, she got on the podium her first time out.
Miller nice and square through that rhythm section. That's really the key through that area of the racetrack. See a little fiberglass coming loose on his truck as well.
I'm just noticing how great, I've noticed it for a while, but how great of a driver he is. He's just been jumping car to car. He's been on the asphalt. He's been on the dirt in multiple situations.
Yeah, that can be really difficult too, because there's habits you'll pick up driving one car that you have to unlearn when you jump in the next car. The amount of different disciplines that he juggles, that's got to be really tough. But again, just goes to show you the quality of the driver that he is, as we have 2 laps to go here in Pro Spec.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing at such a young age, and it's cool. I mean, he's just a big sponge right now. He's just absorbing all the information as he can. His uncle, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he was even talking about it on a podcast that, hey, you know, you can say what he wants. He's getting the equipment to run with me, but he knows where to put the car. He knows where to drive into the corner. He knows where to exit. So he's like, we just got to let him do his thing.
Now over a 4.5 second lead for Miller. Look at that, just smoothly landing. This is the only place he's jumping a race car, by the way. Everything else is driving around an oval.
Yeah, Ryan Beat Motorsports really have that truck dialed in. They really do. Those Bilstein shocks absorbing everything through this infield. Bass Pro Shops on board. It's a cool partnership for him and his team. And a brand new truck coming into this year, so Ryan giving him the best equipment as well.
Yeah, he's going to be really tough to take down. I mean, to start the weekend with a sweep, if he can hold on for this lap and a little bit more, it's getting laid out early already for the rest of this field. They got to try to find some way to tame the Thriller Wyatt Miller as he takes the white flag here at Lucas Oil Speedway.
One more time around this 1.2 mile facility. I just love watching him. He's just searching. He's finding that middle line as well. This Visser, poor Nick Visser.
Just surviving though, man. Visser's a Terminator. He'll fight through whatever adversity. You remember Bark River in 2024? Really bad crash the first day of a 3-day weekend of racing. They thrashed all night, cobbled the truck back together. He was able to have a couple good runs up there after doing that. That's what he does. He just overcomes whatever he has to.
Yeah, plus he's helping out his kid in mod kart, Race Visser, who will probably be in one of these trucks before we know it.
I'm sure. I mean, we've seen Race Visser hanging out with Wyatt Miller quite a bit at the races since Wyatt's been coming and racing with us. I can tell you that I guarantee Race has been in Nick's ear saying, come on, Dad, just build the second truck. Let's go racing together.
Yeah, it's got to be hard for him to hang out with Wyatt and be like, I just want to race with him. Because he is all by himself. One final time going through these S sections. Underneath that over-under. He's going to be staring at Faye one final time here in round 2.
Thriller Wyatt Miller 2 for 2 to start the 2025 season here in Pro Spec. Dominant victory over the rest of this field. And Avery Hemmer, a podium to end the year last year, a podium finish in the opening rounds here at Lucas Oil Speedway. And Visser survives for a 3rd place finish. That's kind of the wild kind of racing that you expect to see from Pro Spec, but it was all kind of condensed into the middle laps of the race. Towards the end, I think everybody was a little bit spread out. By the way, Dylan Parsons crossed the line in 4th.
Good bounce back for Dylan after that big crash coming into this weekend.
Every race is a test of performance. When the stakes are high, racers rely on proven products. If AMSOIL products are engineered for this kind of punishment, you can trust them in your garage. Shop by vehicle to find everything you need for your ride. Get the protection you demand and performance you deserve with fast, free shipping from AMSOIL.com.
What's up, guys? Jeff with Yokohama here at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri for the 2025 Champ Off-Road season opener. We have a great list of drivers this year competing on our tires and really showing off the Geolander tire line. From Ricky G to Johnny Holcher, Cole Mamer, and this year bringing on Corey Winter. We're excited for a great season. We have lots of cool things coming down the pipeline and looking forward to another off-road season.
We've chased checkered flags through dust, rocks, mud, and worse. We've crowned champions, racked up wins in places where tires go to die. And we're still just getting started. From hammering at hammers to Baja bangers. If it's brutal, beautiful, or just plain ridiculous, we're there. So whether you're bombing through the desert or just dodging potholes in rush hour, tread victoriously with Maxxis tires, built for whatever you're chasing.
Hankook Tire.
Podium finish for you. It's been a kind of a string of bad luck even going back to last year and then the first couple of days this weekend. How good does it feel to land this thing on the box?
It's exhausting, that's for sure. No other words to put it, but it's been a lot of hard work since last year. I just can't thank everybody enough that's been there to help me do all the work. Dustin Pence helped me out, and truck's working way. I never biked it all weekend, and he made some changes that helped that out a lot, and I can't thank him enough. I had an uncle and my cousin came down from Council Bluffs, Iowa this weekend, and I can't thank them guys enough. If you guys are in Council Bluffs area, if you need pest management, look up Advanced Pest Management. If you need heating and air conditioning, that stuff, Best Air Care, sorry. And then just all my crew that come down here. Can't thank you guys enough. I mean, we got here and we weren't quite ready. We've been working on all 3 cars the entire time we've been here, and then, you know, obviously we broke right in practice and didn't get qualifying, so it just, these kids really made me work for it, and it just doesn't feel right standing up here against a couple of kids that are as old as my son, so I don't know, we'll see. We'll keep pushing and see if the old man can get back into it, but they're going to give me a run for my money for sure.
Any sponsors you'd like to thank? Yeah,
Yokohama's huge. Can't thank them enough for being here, doing everything, tire prep, and just everything that they do for us. Parsons Chevrolet, Builder Service, Kristen Ambrose, Point Mortgage, Tony at Argonne Lumber, everybody else, Wagner Oil, J&J Insulation. You know, all my sponsors are local people that just want to see us succeed, and you know, nothing big corporate except for Yokohama. So I can't thank all you guys enough for being here and helping out. My brother's always here recording and do his best. And then Cole Dabler, he stepped in, he's spotting for me, and I can't thank him enough for keeping me going and just settling me down here out in this track.
Nick Visser, 3rd place today in round 2 of Pro Spec.
And taking 2nd from Now Then, Minnesota, in the number 15, Avery Hemmer.
Avery, a bit of a rough day for you, some mistakes, but it looked like you learned from it and were able to put it up on the box today. What did you learn from yesterday you were able to apply today?
Keep it calm at the beginning, just wait for the caution to make any moves, but I don't know, definitely a lot better than yesterday.
Who helped you get up here today?
My mom, my dad, my team, Hammer Motorsports, they did a lot to get here. And then Kenda, tires were great out there, hooked up, amazing. Maxima, Chopper City, everybody else, thank you.
Avery Hemmer, 2nd place today in Pro Spec.
And taking the win here this afternoon in the number 73 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, the Thriller Wyatt Miller.
Wyatt able to finish up a weekend sweep here, your second off-road win here today. You were running second at the halfway point. Tell me how you were able to set up Avery and get to the lead.
Yeah, I knew we had a fast truck. I went through those whoops. She got a little crossed up, and so I got under and then led from there.
Who helped you get up here today?
Bass Pro Shops, Johnny Morris for coming out, Big Al, Tough Go Flooring, Chevrolet, Bill Steen, and just everyone that helps.
Wyatt Miller sweeping the weekend here in Pro Spec.
Thank you very much, Nolan. A great group of kids and adults up on that podium here this afternoon. It's going to be a great season in Pro Spec. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you tune in so you can watch them at Antigo, Wisconsin here in a month. But what a day it's been so far. It's just beautiful weather. The track has come together so perfect. And now we're going to go back side-by-side racing here coming up shortly.
Yeah, Pro Stock and an excellent race yesterday. Expect more of that here in round number 2. Had some fresh blood on the podium yesterday. We'll tell you all about it when we come back here to the Show Me Off-Road Shootout. Stick around.
You love Champ Off-Road. Show your love and get your AMSOIL Championship Off-Road merchandise today by visiting the official merch trailer or shopping online at shop.isocracing.com, where you'll find tour tees, hoodies, outerwear, hats, ladies and kids wear. And make sure you stop by the AMSOIL Championship Off-Road official merchandise trailer.
Yeah, I got that right turn. We're good.
Meet up at the compound group up.
That's turn 4. Oh, that jump was huge. Yeah, for sure, dog. Good little driver and straight on through.
Thanks for the spot back there.
Welcome back to the beautiful Lucas Oil Speedway here in Wheatland, Missouri. We're here for the Show Me Off-Road Shootout. This is AMSOIL Championship Off-Road. I'm Brent Smith alongside Shane Stetsny, and now we're going to ride along on board with one of the side-by-sides here on the parade lap.
Yeah, this is what it looks like from just outside the cab, riding along with Jeb Boodle. This is what it looks like to be out there on the racetrack. Of course, this was round 1 action, so the track a little bit slicked up. Actually, check that. CJ Greaves is the driver of this machine that we're riding along with. So watching the master at work. You see, that's close quarters racing sometimes. Sometimes you got to move someone a little bit off the race line.
Yeah, he definitely moved him out of the way, but you see how he's just correcting that wheel as he's going. He's just trying to dip into that right line, and now it's just a wide open straightaway. and you flat-foot this thing, they bonsai off of it.
See the standing water on the track. None of that today. This track is prime. You see they actually put some water down between races here. And let's take a look at this Pro Stock side-by-side lineup. Colin Truitt and Cross Kirchmeier. A couple Southern drivers with us. Truitt from Nebo, North Carolina. Kirchmeier from Arlington, Texas. Kirchmeier was on the podium yesterday with a third-place finish. CJ Greaves from Swamico, Wisconsin starts third alongside Owen Van Epperen from Appleton, Wisconsin. And it's Jeb Boodle from Yemassee, South Carolina, and Tyson Marquardt from Lena, Wisconsin. David Gay starts 7th. He's from Harris, Minnesota. Dylan Marquardt from Lena, Wisconsin starts 8th. Colin Kearns from Manitowoc, Wisconsin starts 9th. And Jake Kosmecki from Peshtigo, Wisconsin starts in the 10th spot. Then it's Jack Letourneau alongside John Fitzgerald. Michael Brule alongside Colton Krajicek. That's row number 7. Row number 8 is Lucas Pierce and TJ Sewers. And row number 9 is Marcus Catlin and Nate Richardson. Looking back at round 1, Owen Van Epperen atop the box. CJ Greaves had to settle for second in that one. And Cross Kirchmeier, like I said, up on the podium as well. And Owen Van Epperen also set the fastest lap of the race. So he is your Yokohama top qualifier.
Yeah, he showed a lot of speed in round 1. I'm looking for him to do the same thing here in round 2, and now we're restarting them a little bit different than round 1, so it's a little bit more fair to the guys from second on back. And here we go.
Pro Stock side-by-side, round number 2 underway here at the Show Me Off-Road Shootout. Right away, CJ Greaves stepped out of line.
Yeah, he had to check up just a little bit.
Yeah, he was trying to get past Truitt right from the jump. I had a chance to talk to Colin really quickly. He said he was excited to start on the front row for this one. Feels like he has what it takes to stay out front. Kirchmeier trying the slide job move already on lap 1 as they went through turn 2.
Yeah, look at Kirchmeier trying to go a long way around CJ Greaves. CJ puts it up on the bike, sets it down, but Kirchmeier goes really wide.
Yeah, you can tell Talladega turn, that turn 3 section is starting to get a little bit roughed up. Every race that we run on, it's going to get a little bit worse.
Now CJ going to try to outbrake him. Oh, he collects him going up towards the K-rail. That's going to open up the door for others.
Yeah, it might have caused Truitt to maybe miss a shift there, or maybe knock the car out of gear or something, because it looked like it was taking him a second to get back underway. There he is, all the way back in 6th. So a big shakeup. It's CJ Greaves now out front.
You remember CJ was talking about it.
Sorry to cut you off.
No,
Van Epperen
fine.
2nd, Kirchmeier 3rd.
Yeah, CJ was talking to us up in the booth early on during the sportsman races, and he's like, yeah, you see me feed that bottom a lot because that outside you want to chase that cushion, but by the time you get through that S-turn, you lose on exit.
How about one of the privateers, Tyson Marquardt, mixing it up there in the top 5. Trading some paint with Colin Truitt. Van Epperen going way wide through the final turn. That's going to leave the door open for Kirchmeier, but Van Epperen, I think he's running up there on purpose. He got a really good drive onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, he really did. They're flat out, pedal to the metal down this front straightaway. There's CJ Greaves still holding on to the lead. He's last year's points champion. Trying to show everyone around this beautiful facility here in Wheatland, Missouri. And look at Van Epperen now trying to find that bottom chain.
Yeah, everybody's searching here in the opening laps, trying to find what works best for their car, their tire choice. It's like everybody content to follow CJ through the door down on the bottom of Talladega turn that time. Kirchmeier tried the high side, and it cost him just 1 lap ago, so certainly he'll file that away and try to avoid it.
Yeah, Marquardt running a nice solid 4th right now. Like you said, he's independent. They don't have a lot of sponsors on board, no factory support, so they're doing it all from just local help from their community. There's CJ Greaves staying down that bottom. They're all playing single file, so that must be the fastest line around right now.
Yeah, yesterday those lines weren't really available this early in the pro schedule. There's still a little bit too much moisture in the track, especially way down on the bottom. Now that's open for business, and you can see everybody taking advantage of it.
Yeah, CJ's like, it was so wet in the inside of the turns. Every time we go through the bottom, we'd re-wet the track down, so we'd kind of be going against ourselves.
Yeah, if you wanted to run the bottom in round 1, your choices were either run the dry slick blue groove or run down in the mud holes. That was kind of your 2 choices, so pick your poison, I guess. Much better racetrack here for round 2.
Well, Owen Van Epperen now starting to close in. You see that gap with your eyes, Shane. He's doing everything under his power to try to get there.
Meanwhile, Tyson Marquardt starting to reel in Cross Kirchmeier. Just inch by inch. They were really close through turn 2. Kirchmeier a little bit better drive off that corner. Up and over the Brunt Booter, that huge tabletop on the backstretch.
Yeah, Van Eperen entering a little bit earlier than CJ Greaves, trying to get down to that bottom side. They fly over that Lucas Oil tabletop, down into the infield here. That rhythm section is so cool to watch that suspension work.
Yeah, it looks like the Yamaha Van Eperen, a little bit of kick coming out of the rear suspension on that, but still got a great drive. They're side by side over the tabletop into this hard right-hander. Greaves got the preferred line. We talked about that inside. Yeah, Greaves, he saw that move coming a mile away. He said, I'm just going to give you one tiny tap, put you back behind me, and you can try again next time.
Yeah, he's like, not yet, Van Eperen. You got to wait your turn. He's trying it all. Missed the first half of the race.
Already starting to get just a little physical out there. Van Eperen, no doubt, wants another shot at Greaves before halfway. Falls back a little bit. Both drivers again running the bottom. A little bit different line there from Van Eperen, though.
We say it a lot throughout the weekend, but how much are you saving your car right now, though, right? I mean, it's early in the race, but you don't want to waste everything you got.
Right, but if you're Owen Van Eperen sitting in that second spot behind CJ, you really badly want to be first on this restart. You don't want to have to try to chase him down after those flags.
Right, you want to make him chase you, exactly. As they fly over that Brunt Booter jump again. And it looks wide through this turn, but it is very narrow if you're here in person as they fade out to the outside of that table.
Into the very technical half of the course, the interior portion. Through that rhythm section, Kirchmeier starting to reel in Van Eperen just a little bit as well. And Kirchmeier actually has the fastest lap of the race right now, Brent.
Wow, that is a quick time, a 1:25.372. Greaves ran a 1:25.799, so he's creeping in on these leaders.
Yeah, Kirchmeier on the move. So Polaris out front, Yamaha second, Honda in that third spot. We should see the red and yellows here either this lap or next time around. There it is. We've reached halfway in Pro Stock side by side. CJ Greaves, 189 career wins across all classes that he's raced, and trying to push it to 190 here in Pro Stock round number 2. Van Eperen was there for a lot of that first half run. We talked about maybe saving the car, maybe trying to make a last-ditch run at it here in the second half, but Kirchmeier was also bad fast in that first half once he got into some clean air.
Yeah, he loves this spot he's in right now because you're buttoned back up. It's a new race, right? The second half, you can go to work. Now your tires are probably going to grip a little bit better because you normally set up for late in the race. And CJ Greaves, he's just going to keep doing what he's doing and try to defend him off.
Tyson Marquardt fourth at the break. David Gay up into the top 5. Had a bit of a hard time in round 1, but looking to bounce back. A rookie here in Pro Stock side-by-side, former champion in Pro-Am side-by-side from a year ago. No surprise to see him mixing it up with the fast guys here.
Yeah, Owen Van Eperen has a little bit left in the tank. I can guarantee you that. He looked to be quick in a lot of the different sections of this track compared to CJ. But CJ, when he got to the back of CJ knew what to do. He could just put the car so he couldn't pass him back on that inside.
Well, before we see Pro Stock part number 2 here in round 2, let's check in trackside with Nolan.
Thanks, guys. Shane, you alluded to it. David Gay, our defending Pro-Am side-by-side champion, running 5th right now and only a 2nd race in Pro Stock. You think back to the races that he won last season in Pro-Am, they weren't dominant, charge through the field, get to the front early victories. He slowly, meticulously worked his way up through the pack. And running 5th right now, I think we might see him do the same thing in the second half.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more of that out of him, and you just got to be aggressive. This is it, right? You have a month before Anago. You can use up your equipment. You have time to work on it.
Yeah, we'll see how David Gay tries to play this restart. Tyson Marquardt, a veteran here in Pro Stock side-by-side. It's going to be tough to get by him and catch up to this top 3 if you're David Gay, but he has proven, like Nolan said, through Pro-Am side-by-side, he's a second half guy. He's very hungry when he's out there on the racetrack, and that never say die attitude, that's going to come in handy battling against the 4 that are in front of him.
Yeah, you have to have a good attitude. You got to have confidence in yourself, and that's huge, right? As a racer myself, there's a lot of times you doubt yourself going, you know, can I run that pace? Can I do that? You just got to get out and throw everything behind you and give it all you have. And that's what we're going to see in this second half, and we're about to take that green flag.
CJ Greaves takes control of the field for this restart. And off we go. The green flag flies here for the second half of Pro Stock side-by-side.
See if Kirchmeier can stay right with that group. He had the fastest lap that last time by.
Yeah, he's shown that he's willing to be aggressive here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Tyson Marquardt running a little wide through turn 2, but look at Greaves just accelerate away.
Yeah, that's a big gap early.
We talked about Van Eperen saving the car for the second half. I think CJ has plenty left in the tank of the 33 there. And he's showing it right now, trying to run away and hide here in the second half.
Yeah, that is what he's doing right now. Owen Van Eperen clearing that tabletop, but he's going to have to put it together here. He's going to have to put one final drive in his pocketbook and see if he can reel in our race leader. But anytime CJ's out front, like we say it many of times, he's very methodical. He's not going to miss the best line.
Yeah, Owen's really got to try to dig deep, do anything he can to catch up and just put that pressure on, right? When CJ made the pass for the lead, there was a little bit of contact. Owen tried to get it back. There's a little bit more contact. Maybe Owen, if he can get close enough, maybe give a little bit of that back. It's tough to do, but try to rattle CJ's cage just a little bit.
Yeah, try to rough him up, just get in his head a little bit. As we're going to see them cross what will be our finish line one more time. The green flank's still out. 3 minutes to go in this one. Look at that gap from second on back.
Yeah, Marquardt, though, is hanging with Cross Kirchmeier in that battle for third and fourth.
Yeah, that's a podium spot for Marquardt. That'd be huge for him.
Reeves pushed a little bit wide coming out of turn 2. Maybe trying to get up on that tackier wet dirt. You can see the blue groove starting to wear in that bottom line coming into Talladega turn.
Yeah, nobody wants to take the long way around this afternoon. They're all just buttoning up to those tractor tires. That front Buddha really giving us a great show this weekend here at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Look at Van Eperen trying to late break that corner. Actually worked out for him a little bit, able to gain maybe a couple feet on Greaves.
Hey, you just said he needs to go to work, and that's what he's doing. CJ just getting hard on the binders, pushing a little bit there.
Yeah, I think it's starting to dry slick a little bit more and more as this race goes on. And you're talking about 18 cars, four-wheel drive, digging up this dirt, pulling the moisture out of it.
Yeah, one of our bigger classes this weekend. You're right, it's just going to keep packing it in, changing that surface lap after lap. CJ Greaves still holding it on.
I'm watching CJ, and he's like hard committed to running the bottom just about everywhere on this racetrack. You talk to him about that, and he's sticking with it. It's working out for him, but if I'm Van Eperen, I'm searching for something else.
Yeah, you have to, and it's sad because if you search for something different, CJ's running that fast line. As you see Owen, he's changing his lines up a little bit, but he's trying to follow the leader just to see if he can run and see if the car's fast enough to reel him in.
Yeah, you see CJ starting to pull away a little bit more. So time running out for everybody else. Reeves trying to lock up career win number 190. Came in 12 short of 200. He had 16 total wins last year. That milestone is in sight for him.
30 years old. Like I said, I remember when he got into the Pro Buggy division, running super lights. And I knew he would move on to bigger and better things, and that talent was there early.
Yeah, I got a chance to see CJ rip around a motocross track on a 65 and an 85 bike when he was younger than that still. And just the natural racing ability, unbelievable out of that kid. 2 laps to go this time as he comes through the Polaris final turn and onto the Amsoil front straightaway.
Yeah, the wish and the hope for Owen Van Eperen is going away. CJ's just in his zone. That RZR Polaris, number 33. Monster Energy's been on board with him a long, long time as well.
Yeah, no change in the top 5 at all throughout this second half run. It's still Van Eperen second, Kirchmeier third, Tyson Marquardt fourth, David Gay still holding on to that 5th spot.
A great run for Marquardt, though. Like you said, he's a local boy. He's one of our guys from the Midwest. He really is trying everything he can. Just imagine if he had some factory support there to get those nice engines every weekend and get unlimited money. What he could do with that car would be over the top. It's just, they're great human beings. They're great people to talk to. Him and his twin brother, or not his twin brother, just great brothers.
Well, Greaves once again through this infield section, that interval holding steady between himself and Owen Van Eperen.
Man, it's got to be so stressful, right? Late in this race, you're just trying it all. Just can't get to the bumper of that 33.
Yeah, watching CJ just slip away just a couple feet at a time, riding off into the sunset. Greaves about to take the white flag. It was 1.5 seconds gap between those two on the previous lap. Take a look at what the stopwatch says this time. Same exact interval between those two.
Yeah, they're running about the same lap times as well. Owen Van Eperen not far off of CJ, but that gap's just holding them apart right now. As you can see the track really getting roughed up. Owen Van Eperen put it up on 2 wheels again.
Still, this would cap off a really nice opening weekend for Owen Van Eperen. Top of the box back in round 1. CJ right behind him in second. So as these points battles start to take shape, and yes, we do have 8 events. We have 15 rounds of pro racing this year, but always in the back of these drivers' minds, you know, they're partners. They want to see championships. The wins are great, but this means a lot to Polaris if CJ can win a championship. It means a lot to Yamaha if Owen Van Eperen can win this championship.
Yeah, and CJ taking that chance, right? Moving manufacturers, going to Polaris. He took a little bit, he struggled a little bit. It wasn't on his end, right? They're trying to develop that car a little bit better each and every time. And him and Polaris are really doing wonderful things together. And they know how to build. They build it all in-house.
A couple more corners, tight corners to navigate for CJ. Through the tunnel here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Into the Polaris final turn. He's going to put his Polaris up on top of the box and take the win here in Pro Stock side-by-side in round number 2.
What a bounce back after not sweeping the day in round 1. Normally we see that with CJ Greaves. He's just clicking off another win. 190. Unreal.
Van Eperen across the line second. Really good weekend for Cross Kirchmeier as well, his Champ Off-Road debut. Back-to-back third-place finishes. Tyson Marquardt, the privateer, across the line in 4th. And David Gay getting his feet wet in Pro Stock across the line in 5th. There you see the rest of the unofficial results. Kearns, Dylan Marquardt, Johnny Fitzgerald, Pierce, and Jeb Boodle rounds out the top 10.
Remember what David Gay said in our interview in the opening ceremonies? He said, I'm a top 5 car, so.
He went out and proved it. He proved himself right. No doubt he'll be working his way up through the ranks as this season goes on. He gets a little bit more experience racing at the pro level, but we will step out for just a moment. Podium interviews from Pro Stock side by side coming at you next, and a lot more action yet to come here from the Show Me Off-Road Shootout. Don't go anywhere.
In the east, you'll find your way to the end zone.
Hey, I'm Scott Douglas with AMSOIL. We're here at Wheatlands, Missouri. This track is unbelievably wild. It's about a 1.5 mile track. It's got over and under everything you could ever imagine. We also have the AMSOIL booth here right out front of the
So whether you're bombing through the desert or just dodging potholes in rush hour, Tread victoriously with Max's tires, built for whatever you're chasing.
CJ Greaves.
CJ, a second place in the Pro Stock car yesterday. What changes do we go make today to make this thing a little bit better?
We just gambled on tires. That was the only change we made. We figured the track was starting to run in. Running what we had yesterday wasn't it, so we got to change something, and there wasn't anyone else in the field on SC1. So somebody had to be the guinea pig and give it a shot, and we like to gamble, whether it's at the casino or at the racetrack. Let's make it happen. So that's what we were able to do. We got out front early. I apologize to Colin. We were going in there on the first lap side by side, and both just next to each other. I wasn't trying to pinch him or nothing. It's like we both went to turn, and it was just slick and ended up pushing out, but I didn't mean to get into him there. And then after that, it was just like, how can I get some dry lines until the track comes in to suit my tires? So once the second half came in, I was able to make some adjustments on my lines, get the tires where they wanted to be, and just put down good, consistent laps. So that's what we had to do, and I just can't thank my crew enough. Driving out here 11 hours is a lot to ask from a lot of volunteers. So you guys kick ass. Thank you. Everyone from Polaris, hats off. Jody and his crew. Vision Wheel, Fox Shocks, Impact Safety, keeping everybody safe out there, Maroon Neck Brace, Rugged Radios, just everybody that helps us out. We appreciate it, and got a couple more left today. At least the sun's out, and let's have some fun.
CJ Greaves on top of the box of round 2 in Pro Stock side by side.
Thank you very much, Nolan. And man, history is being made right in front of us with CJ Greaves. But don't go anywhere. We're going to keep on moving along with the racing here this afternoon. And man, oh man, Pro Light coming up next. We're going back truck racing once again. And man, Johnny Holger really dominating in round 1. We'll see if anyone has anything for him in round 2.
I think some of the other guys in that field are going to have a little something extra today for Johnny Holger. And the other side of the coin there in Pro Light is oftentimes day 2 of Pro Light tends to get a little physical, a little hot and heavy. So I'm expecting some great action from Pro Light. The rest of our schedule, as well as you see the exclusive offer from AMSOIL this weekend. Those of you watching at home or here at the racetrack, go to amsoil.com.